What is shaking, everybody? I feel like we're kind of getting back. Like, you got some football this week, got some basketball this week, and I was thinking, what are we missing? Drew, missing some hockey. Got to get some hockey in there. And before we do, let me let everybody know. Show's brought to you by Phil Work, the official non-alcoholic craft beer of your gritty San Jose Sharks. So if you're down at the tank, grab yourself a non-alcoholic beer. Or you can grab yourself a Toffoli Time, big 16-ounce Pilsner. They got fully leaded beers down there, too. They got pulp. Last time I was down there, they had Clear Skies. They had Hazy Train. So grab yourself a Fieldwork while you're down there. And if Tyler Toffoli ends up on the score sheet, whether it's a goal or an assist, 50% off beer the next day at your local Fieldwork. So, look, you win. If the Sharks win, they win. And then Fieldwork wins. And your taste buds win. Like, there's too many winners, Drew, going on there. How you been, pal? I've missed you so much. I missed talking to you. Now Drew had to get a new phone, so I've been texting him. I go, dang. I go, I must have done something to offend Drew for the first time. I go, Drew hasn't been getting back to me. I go, I don't know what it would be, since Drew's like the nicest person I know. Come to find out, it was a phone malfunction, so I felt much better.
Yeah. It's more of a brain malfunction than anything, but I appreciate you trying to cover for me, pal. I have, as I'm getting older, I have CRS. I don't know if you do or not. I was diagnosed last year, and if people don't know what CRS means, it means you can't remember shit. So
yeah, I got that.
Okay, I thought you did. So that's where I am at this moment in my life, and I'm glad that I was able to recover from my idiocy and finally get in touch with you. It's good to see you again, pal. I was concerned.
Well, it's funny. I consider like you one of my best friends that I don't see. I have a bunch of them. Brent Jones is like that. One of my best friends that I never see. And you know, Drew, what bothers me is when I'm on my phone and I'm like, oh, I want to look that up. And I don't look it up right away. Yeah. And then like 5 seconds later, I'm like, what the fuck did I want to look up? I'm like, it's so maddening. It's like 5 seconds later, I'm like, how can I not remember this? I like went on Google specifically to type something in, and now I can't remember what I want to type in. It's so,
all the time.
Yeah.
Do you do the one where you get up and go to a different room and then stand in the room for go? Why did I come in here?
It just the littlest things too. Yeah. And you know what really upsets me is when I walk back to the room and I sit back down and then I remember. I'm like, yeah, you got it.
Exactly.
I'm like, is it worth the effort still? I don't know.
No, and it wasn't. It wasn't in the first place. If you forgot about it, I know it's brutal.
It's the war. It is. And then look, everybody who's a lot younger than us, you'll get there at some point. It's not debilitating. It's just frustrating. It just really is. I did it today. Like 30 minutes ago. So I wanted to look up some stats and I was looking up NHL trades and stuff like that. But before I actually got there, I lost my way. And I was like, what was I going to look up? I know I was going to look up something that pertained to the show. Yeah. And then I was like, I forgot it. And then it clicked back in. I was like, oh, let me do it right now before I forget. Because if I don't do it right now, I don't know where.
Maybe the next day. Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe it's just gone. Yeah. Like Drew, there's like a Davy Jones locker somewhere that over the last 5 years has all my thoughts that I forgot about. And if I looked at it one time, I'd be like, oh shit, that's right. It was our anniversary. God damn it. I should have looked in this. I should have looked in this a lot earlier.
I think I'd be horrified. I think I'd be horrified if I opened up my Davy Jones locker of thoughts and went, "Ooh, jeez."
Oh. Yeah. That's right. The bunny did need food. Shit. How did I forget about that?
That probably was my fault.
I should have taken care of that. I meant to take care of it. And then I could go show everybody, Drew. I go, look, it's right here in my locker.
Yeah, see, I did. I meant it. Yes. What they say? The road to hell's paved with good intentions.
Exactly. It's 2 years old, but it's in here. I just want to let you know. Can I get forgiveness? Can I have forgiveness, please?
No, not in today's world. No way.
Not today's world. Not today's world. Oh my gosh. All right, let's get to let's start with the Olympics, which was just so much fun. Such a blast.
Yeah.
And I'm not even talking. No, it wasn't heartbreaking. Although it was funny. You're going to kick out of this, Drew. I had Steve on yesterday, Kerr.
Yeah.
And I asked him who he was rooting for because he has a connection with Macklin through Rick, who's the head of performance.
Vice president now.
They used to just be trainers.
Yeah.
Now they got these titles.
Vice president of high performance.
Yeah, guys, like, well, can you just be a trainer? Like, I mean, it's easier. It's easier to remember. I don't need to remember all these names. Exactly. But Rick said that whole family, just great people.
Awesome.
So Steve, through Rick, they followed Macklin and all that kind of stuff. And he said through juniors, he would always have a bet with Rick whenever USA played Canada. They'd have like a dinner bet. Yeah. And he goes, I got USA, you got Canada. Because I asked him, I go, who were you rooting for? Who were you pulling for? So he told me that story as a background. And he goes, I'll just tell you this time, we didn't make a bet.
Yeah.
I go, you went fucking Canada, didn't you? you unbelievable. I go, look, I love Macklin as much as the next guy, but yeah. I mean, I'm rooting for USA. I got to root for my country. But it wasn't just, I'll get to that game in a minute. It wasn't just that game. It was good hockey. It was fun hockey to watch all the way leading up to the game. And we got exactly what we wanted. Everybody wanted to see Canada and the US in the finals, but it's just a really, really fun tournament. And it's so much fun to see these guys care so much about these events, Drew.
Yeah. Well, that's where I give the NHL a ton of credit, because the players wanted this, and they hadn't been there since 2014. Yep. Is that right? 2014, or maybe it was a little bit less, but they hadn't been there for a long time. And when COVID hit and all the stuff was happening around the league as far as the collective bargaining agreements and trying to extend that and getting the players to come play in 2 different hubs and all the things that were going on, they were also negotiating an extension to the CBA. But part of that extension, for the players to give up some stuff, they wanted that one thing. The one thing that they wanted more than anything was to go back to the Olympics, to have that opportunity. And the league doesn't like doing it for the simple fact of we have to close down the league for 2 weeks, maybe even longer. And the worry about injuries. Sidney Crosby gets injured. Kevin Fiala gets injured.
Mikko Rantanen
gets injured. Yep. So you've got that situation, which owners don't like very much. But they did it because, 1, they wanted labor peace and didn't want any disruptions in the future. And 2, they know it's good for the game of hockey.
Yeah.
To think about the Americans winning, both now the women are kicking ass like crazy.
Yeah.
But the men beating Canada, winning the first gold medals since 1980, 46 years, the Miracle on Ice, and beating Canada in order to do it is huge for hockey and growth of hockey in the United States. And that's a good thing. For the players, they went over and did everything you would have asked them for. There wasn't a coaster guy out there. There wasn't one guy who wasn't working hard. There wasn't one guy who wasn't laying down the block shots or taking a hit to make a play. It was fast hockey. It was tough hockey. It was fantastic back and forth. Games were entertaining. I didn't care what team was playing. I was watching it.
Yeah.
So it was such good hockey.
No, it was so much fun to watch. I wanted to ask you, obviously I want to get to the gold medal game and all that, but the Russian team, now I'm assuming that because of the war, they weren't playing. Are they still, like, if let's say the war gets sorted out in the next 4 or 5 years, whatever, hopefully much sooner than that, and they go back to a 4 nations, are the Russians, do they have enough good players still? Like, are they part of that?
Yeah. Yeah,
that's what
Mr. Bettman said in 2028 they will follow the IIHF, because 2028 is the World Cup of Hockey, which is an NHL thing. In 2028, he said they will follow the lead of the IIHF and decide what they're going to do with Belarus and Russia. Okay. But you've got 2 of the best goaltenders in the world, if not the best goaltenders in the world, and Vasilevsky and Shesterkin. Vasilevsky with Tampa and Shesterkin. You've got Kucherov. You've got Kaprizov, you've got Panarin, if they allow Panarin to play, because he's not exactly liked in Russia by the higher ups. There's a multitude of great Russian players still in the league. So they would be a formidable team. Yeah.
All right, let's get to the game itself, because it was just, I mean, all the talent on the ice, it's just incredible. And before I get to that, let me ask you, before the tournament starts, if I would have told you the front line would have been McKinnon, McDavid,
Yep.
and Macklin.
Celebrini. Yep.
Would you have thought? Okay, look, Macklin's been really good, but let's not go overboard here. He's not going to be on that line. Not only was he on that line, he was doing work on that line, and it completely earned John Cooper's trust. Like it's almost like you can't go overboard, Drew, talking about how good this guy is. It's wild how quickly it's come.
Well, I'm a failed coach. But one thing coaches always do is you put out everybody and you start looking at lines, right? And the more I looked at the lines of what the potential where Macklin would play and who he'd play with, I kept coming back to, you got to put him with McDavid. When you look at everybody else on that team, I thought that's where he fits best. You put skill with skill.
Yeah.
And I actually like the fact they put Wilson there because Tom Wilson's big, heavy, and is probably the best first touch forechecker in the game today. And so I was looking at that going, yeah, that makes sense to me. I didn't know if they were going to do it, but I kept looking at it and going, why not be there? But then I would sit back and go, you're pretty biased about Macklin. Maybe you're not making the most, just the conscious decision that would be good for the team. But then I kept looking at it and going, yeah, that's where he belongs. And what was amazing to me is that he's the kid is so humble, and there's no ego there. There's no arrogance there with Macklin. And all he wants to do is play as good as he can and help his team win. And when you watch that tournament, there's two things that came to me. And I would argue this till the end of my days, is that number one, if you watch that tournament and Canada play, and the whole tournament, and you didn't come away from that tournament thinking Connor McDavid is absolutely 100% the best player in the world and did everything he could in order to help his team get there, no matter what the Kachuk brothers calling him a bridesmaid all the time, no matter what they friggin' said, if you walked away from that tournament thinking that anything but Connor McDavid is the best in the world and one of the best we've ever seen, then you don't know what you're talking about when it comes to the game of hockey. Number two was the guy that was there in every step of the way, who was right next to him, as far as production, as far as impact, as far as best player in the tournament, besides 97, it was Macklin Celebrini. I would argue maybe here and there, Quinn Hughes, maybe. But Macklin Celebrini was right there with Connor McDavid on the biggest stage for a 19-year-old, and he belonged and made it. Like you said, John Cooper, you earn the respect. The great story about Macklin was on the penalty shot against, can't remember who it was, Italy? No, I can't remember who it was. Anyway, and Macklin drew a penalty shot. And in the NHL, the guy who draws the penalty has to take the penalty shot. In international hockey, you can pick a guy on your team. So Macklin draws the penalty shot, and the ref skates over after they get it all settled and said to John Cooper, "Who's it going to be, coach?" And Macklin's already out there. Like Macklin's already, skating around like they do before taking a penalty shot. Now, I think it wasn't arrogance. It wasn't like, I got this, Coop. It was, I don't think Macklin knew the rule that you could pick. And all the players turned and looked at John Cooper and went, "What are you going to do?" And Coop started laughing, but everybody's here to see the kid. He's got it.
Oh, that's incredible. Yeah,
but
a couple things.
I was going to say, but just
me. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. You go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, Macklin, the other thing about him was that every single game, he made an impact, and it's that 200-foot game. And when you see the way that players are talking about him now, how McKinnon talks about him, how Crosby talks about him, how McDavid talks about him, they're not talking about him like they would say a third line or second line guy or a player that's good, and he's up and coming. They're talking about him like he's a peer, as he is one of them. And he is. I think that's a really unique thing for a kid that age.
No doubt. Two things. One, he didn't seem out of place at all.
No.
At all. Like that's stunning for a guy of his age and his experience. Just because a lot of guys, even if they're really good, will take a step back because
it overwhelms them.
Look who I'm playing with. My gosh. But he no problem whatsoever. And the other thing that jumped out to me was Cale Makar is probably still the best defenseman in the game, but it's closer now than it used to be because Quinn Hughes is pretty damn good. Because I had that thought when I was watching the tournament. I go, yeah, Makar's probably still the best, but the gap ain't as wide as it used to be. Quinn Hughes, that dude's a baller.
Phenomenal player. And as far as skating goes, his agility on his edges is absolutely tremendous. He evades so many checkers just with a little spin move or just a slide after he feels the pressure. He absolutely had a wonderful tournament. The Hughes brothers were as good as they've ever been and even better.
So what did this mean for Canada? Because I'm sure they weren't with you that this is good for hockey.
Yeah.
Because it was. If you're gonna have a rivalry, the other side's got to win occasionally to make it worthwhile. And now it's a rivalry. Guess what? Next time these guys play, whether it be Four Nations or whatever, oh baby, everybody's gonna be ready to go because you're gonna have best on best. And now the USA has won the last one. It's gonna be even better. That's where rivalries really take shape. But how'd the country handle it? Not well.
Not well. Although Ryan Warsofsky said to me, that a couple days after when they came back from the Olympic break, and I was standing, we have to wait till they come off the ice, and I was standing there at the door, and Ryan Warsofsky, who won the world championship just in the spring, the first time in I think 60 some years with Team USA. And he walks by and looks at me and goes, "Hey, I haven't seen you for a while." I said, "I was here yesterday." Shut up. And he goes, "How are you doing?" I said, "I'm good. Ryan, how are you, coach?" And he went good. And then he stops in the dressing room and he goes, "Hey, how's Canada doing? A lot of Canadian tears?" I said, "Hey, by the way, I got a message from Macklin. He gave me a call. He told me to," and I said, and he was so listen, you're right. The rivalry has to be there, and it has to be you have to be on equal footing. You have to be challenging the other guy. I remember when Daniel Cormier in the UFC lost to John Jones for the second time, and they asked about the rivalry, and Cormier in tears goes, "I don't know how much of a rivalry it is when the guy keeps winning," and he's absolutely right. Canada, of course, attacked Nathan McKinnon for turning over the puck. You didn't say anything about Zach Werenski making a hell of a play on that. They attacked Connor McDavid and Cale Makar for not coming back hard enough on that play. And Binnington should have stopped it. And what was Cooper doing having those three guys out there? And who else did they put out? On and it goes in Canada. We don't take losing in hockey very well. We really don't take losing to the Americans at all.
At all.
Yeah, it's not. We would rather go back to 72 series and the Russians the Russians beat us than the Americans beat us. The one thing that we have, Tom, in Canada is hockey. That's ours. You guys are great at football and basketball and baseball and everything and what you do. And then we had just that. Why would you take that one little thing? That's all we had. So that's how we felt.
Because we can. That's why.
Exactly. Because you're America, God damn it.
Exactly right. Green is good, as Gordon Gekko once
Gordon
said.
Gekko.
The funny thing about it too, Drew, is after it's over, and it was at the very end was just such a fluke play, right? It was a great play to who was it, Drew, that tipped it? Just barely got his stick on the puck. That got it away from Makar. Because if Makar gets that, it's
Zach Werenski. Yeah. Yep.
It's 2-0.
Yeah.
And it's good night the other way.
Yeah.
So that was like a do or die play, and he made it. It was just an incredible play.
Yeah.
But let's be honest. And I got sick of hearing this, even though they're correct. It's 3-on-3. It gets gimmicky at that point. But guess what? Those are the rules. Everyone knows the rules. They didn't drop it on you at the end of regulation. Go, guys, look. Closing ceremonies coming up. We're kind of tight on time. We're going 3-on-3. Like everybody knew the rule. Everybody knew that's how Canada got to the finals. That's how USA got to the finals.
Nobody complained when they won it. Exactly. They knew the rules going in. What did you do? We're not playing that way. We're not doing it. Sorry. It's just the way it is. It's 3-on-3. Did you like it better when it went automatically to a shootout? It's the way it is. Too friggin' bad.
We can We can get TJ Oshie in there to take 9 straight
9-shot
penalty
yard.
shots.
Yeah, Jonathan Taves when he was in World Junior taking every shot. Come on.
I mean, look, is
Agreed.
it gimmicky? Yes, we all know.
So what?
It's not. Is it real hockey? No, that's why they don't do it during the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yeah.
That's why they don't put a guy in second base in baseball during the playoffs. It's gimmicky, but sorry.
That's the way the game is.
Yeah, we talked about the injuries, Drew. If I'm a general manager, I probably don't want my guy over there to begin with, even though I know it's good for hockey. I certainly don't want him over there in a 4 overtime game. That's really what I don't want.
Just grinding it out. I agree with you.
So, I mean, it is what it is. And for those people that were complaining about it, they wouldn't have been. Look, if Canada would have won, they wouldn't have been complaining about it. And we would have been complaining about it.
Yeah, you're right. They didn't in the quarterfinal game. That's exactly right.
No, exactly.
Tell me you weren't like this on the edge of your seat. It was like,
it was incredible.
Yeah. And it didn't take very long.
No.
Yeah, exactly. So please, like you said, they knew the rule going in.
Yeah, it's like shut up. I mean, it just go away. So, all right, let's get to the Sharks, who came out of the gate hot. In this, I don't even know if it's the second half. It's a little bit
27 games.
It's a little later than
fourth quarter.
Second half. But I feel like before I get to some of the individuals, and I want to talk about some of the trades, I feel like this season's going so well for the Sharks. Like it's development and winning. Like they're developing some of these guys and they're winning. I'm not sure if they're a year early. I'm not even sure if I believe that. You're ready when you're ready, and guys are just. But it's just been a really fun group to watch. They're winning low-scoring games. They're winning high-scoring games. The only thing I said was, would you like Askarov to be a little bit better? Yeah, but he's a goaltender. They're different. It takes them a little more time. But I don't know what Shark fan could look at this season and think anything other than, wow, it's been a hell of a ride so far. Not only are we developing young guys, they're playing well. We're right there in the mix. And boy, I tell you what, if the Sharks can get to the playoffs, not only would they be fun to watch, it would send a bolt of energy through the region.
100%. And the one thing, and you know this better than anybody, you're in a dressing room with your guys, and you look around that room, and there is a belief system in each other and a belief system in that team. And you can't fake that. You have to build that. You have to grow that. You have to do it day after day, game after game, moment after moment, on the ice, off the ice, everything. And there's a strong belief system in that room. And that has a lot to do with the culture. You and I have talked about it before. The culture in that room it's incredible. I've been with the Sharks for a long time now, and I'm trying to think of a room that had that kind of culture. 93, 94, when we made the playoffs for the first time, we were close to that. Guys liked each other, didn't want to let each other down. They went out and did everything they could, but we weren't nearly as talented as this team. And when you look at this team right now and how they're playing and how they stick together and what they're doing, they are, I guess fun is the only thing I can think of. It's a lot of fun for them to come to the rink, but it's a lot of fun for us to come to the rink and watch it and be part of it. The team itself has had, like any season, ups and downs, right? They went through that stretch before the break. After they lost to Edmonton, had the 3-0 lead in Edmonton, then gave it up and lost the game in Edmonton. And after that, Ryan Warsofsky said, after they started thinking about the playoffs, they started thinking about the result instead of the process. They were a goal gets scored on them, and then the sticks they get tight on the sticks, and they'd think, we're never going to make the playoffs now. It's like when you're on the golf course and you need to shoot par, and you're standing on 16, and you're thinking, if I par in, I could break 80, and then you bogey 16, so you think, okay, I just got to birdie 17, and I'll be fine, and then you bogey 17, and okay, I gotta, and then your game goes to where, and you end up shooting 82. We've all been there, right? We've played any golf. So Ryan likes the Jimbo Fisher "Be Where Your Feet Are" quote a lot. Uses it all the time. In fact, the game against Montreal, I was on the bench in Montreal against Montreal, and when Montreal tied it up 5-5, we had a commercial timeout. He brought everybody over and talked to them about just go play. We got to do he said one thing about actual on ice play, which is along the boards, we've got to do a better job. Guys, you got to get support over there, got to go through men, blah, blah, blah. But then he said, just go play. You've been doing this all your life. You're fine. Just go play. Do what you do. And then they settle down and end up winning the game. But that's what they just need to get. They're a little bit undisciplined sometimes in their focus as far as we need to get two back right now, or we need to do this, we need to do that. If you just stick in the moment, stick with the process, they're going to be fine. And then when you look at where they are as far as standings and playoffs, and this is why these today and tomorrow is going to be really interesting. What will Mike Greer do? But I think Mike's really patient. I think there'll be some guys who might get traded, but I don't think well, I know he's not going to tear it all down and start just gathering up more draft choices. They've always had a plan, and this is where they were going. And I don't think that he will do anything drastic, because they don't want to just make the playoffs one year at the cost of sacrificing the future years, like Vancouver or some other teams are a one-hit wonder, and then they're back down trying to redo this thing all over again.
So tell me a little bit about Kiefer Sherwood, who not only gets to, you get the trade for Sherwood, he signs an extension.
Yeah.
He had a nice little extension. I believe it was today he signed the extension. Also got the shit beat out of him by Anderson during the Montreal game, which I liked I liked what you said. On what planet is that only a 2-minute penalty?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I was okay, Drew, with the first two. The third one, I'm like, okay, that's enough. Like, are you kidding me? You took your stick twice now and smashed it into his face, and you're only going to get 2 for that? And the Sharks, look, that was a tough spot to be in, because they kind of unraveled a little bit after that. But, I mean, you want to protect your guy. The Canadians have nothing to lose at that point. They're like, let's see if we can get these guys into this type of, and they did. And then all of a sudden, it's like, bang, 5-5. But let me ask you about Sherwood and what makes him such a good fit. Why'd they go get him? And then almost immediately, not completely, but almost immediately sign him to an extension.
We don't have a guy like that as far as his ability. Terrific skater, fantastic shot, fantastic in front of the net. Not Pavelski-like, but damn close. And has that, I'm trying to think of a nice word. I can't. That edge.
Asshole in him? They get a little asshole
he is that on the ice. He is nasty on the ice. He's Marchand-like. He is a guy that gets in people's faces. He chirps guys. He doesn't mind taking some BS to help his team. He gets off a guy's hip and he checks people. He gets nasty. He gives them a little jab here and there. We don't have a guy like that can play up and down the lineup. There's, we've got Ryan Reeves, we've got Adam Gaudette, you got Barclay Goodrow, you got Zach Ostapchuk. Those guys are going to play in that fourth line role, right? That's what they're going to be. And they're great at it. They're absolutely outstanding at it. On the point, we really don't have a lot of rough and tumble guys. We got big guys. You got Desharnais, you got Mario Ferraro, you got Sam, you got Dimitri. They play hard, but they're not nasty and tough and get in your face a lot. But Kiefer does. He is an absolute jerk out there to play against. You hated him when he played for Vancouver and hated him when he played for Nashville, but boy, oh boy, does he look good in teal. That guy. He's
Draymond Green with ice skates.
Exactly. Yep.
You love him when he's yours. You hate him.
Yep.
When he's not yours. You're just like, this guy's such an asshole. Like I can't stand to be on the ice or court with this guy when he's on the other on the other team. Yeah, you absolutely need that. You need the edge.
You need that.
And because I always said with Draymond, and it's not just that. I mean, Draymond's a great player, but they needed the edge because they had Steph, super nice, Clay, super nice, and then Bogut. Now Bogut had edge. Bogut had about as much edge, if not more edge, than Draymond. But once he left, it was pretty much Draymond. Oh yeah. Bogut was a nasty Aussie.
Really? Hey?
Oh,
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. Bogut's the guy on that team that if there were a bar fight, he'd be the first guy I'd go get over Draymond.
Yeah,
Bogut would be the first guy I would go get off that team. I go,
that's a good one.
where's Bogues? I need Bogues over here. Let's go.
That's a good criteria. I go get
Yeah.
Vinny Desharnais first because he's 6'7", so I get him first, and then I probably go. Well, then I go Reaver. I
Yeah.
just haven't. I just have security. I just have security. That's
He
all.
would
I
definitely
mean,
be a good guy.
I'd be that guy behind them going, "Oh, sorry, what did you tell me to do?" But you're right. You need those. You need those guys. You have to have those guys. And Kiefer can play too. I mean, Kiefer will contribute. He scored 3 goals in the last. He scored 63 goals in his career, but they've come basically in the last 2 years. He's finding his stride. He's 30 years old, so he's signed into a 5-year, but he's young, and guys are in great shape nowadays anyway. From Ohio, he's worked his ass off to get here. He's got that little bitterness to his game and to his personality, where he's one of those guys that goes out and I think trying to prove people wrong.
Yep.
And I thought when we traded for him was a great pickup. People were wondering, and I don't blame them because he didn't play. He was injured when we got him. We knew he was injured. You make the trade. He plays 1 game against Colorado before the break. It's freaking Colorado. Thanks a lot. And then he comes back and plays after the break. And we didn't play well against Calgary. And then Edmonton, Winnipeg. And now this game, he's gotten better and better and better. So he didn't get signed based on what he did last game, but that was obviously already in the works. But he showed you last game why they signed him.
Yeah. Let me ask you about Misa, because we haven't seen a lot of him. He came back up, scores the goal against Winnipeg in overtime, which was a sweet goal. You can see the skill, and I can see the Sharks and Sharks fans thinking, "Oh boy, we got a nice 1-2 punch for a long time." You start thinking about the power play with Smith and Misa and Macklin and Dickerson. It's like, oh man, it's pretty nice. But tell me a little bit about him and expectations with him. I think Randy talked about in juniors the points he put up.
Points. Yeah, 134 points.
It was insane.
Yeah.
In what, like 65 games? Something.
Yeah,
like
60. 62 or something like that.
Yeah. So the skill is obviously there, but tell us a little bit about him and what he needs to maybe get that next step. Not much.
Not much. So I asked him. I was really curious because I asked him what he did during the break, because he came back from the break. And remember, he went to the World Junior team and came back from the break. I said, "What'd you do?" I said, "I saw you taking your stuff home from Denver, his hockey equipment." He goes, "Yeah, I skated a few times and then went watch my brother play in Michigan against Penn, and that was about it. I was watching them." And I said, "So we were talking about Gavin McKenna, who might be the number 1 overall pick, and another junior phenom who went from junior in Canada to Penn to play." And I said, "What do you see in his game?" He goes, "Well, I got to know him a little bit at World Junior, but he's still doing the kind of stuff I used to do when I was in junior." Like he talked about it was like 10 years ago. It's like 6 months ago. He goes, he said, "It's stuff that you can't get away with in the NHL." And I went, that's really interesting from a guy that age at 19 years old going, "Yeah, I have already realized that there's certain things that I did in junior that I was no way I'm getting away with here." So automatically it told me that he has got a hockey brain, right? He's thinking about the game all the time and thinking about how he can be better. The other aspect is he's got fantastic offensive instincts, and he thinks about one thing: attack, 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 attack. But he does it with timing. Again, go back to UFC. I always quote Conor McGregor, and when he beat Aldo in 13 seconds, timing beats speed. That's, timing beats speed and accuracy beats power. That was what he said. But I always think about that with Misa, and the goal against Montreal, or the goal against Winnipeg, is just attack it, right? Sees the 2 guys, sees the opening, thinks, I can do that. Boom, 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 makes the great play. And they were backing up. He had all kinds of speed and makes a fantastic play. So he's reading that automatically, which is amazing. And then last game, he drives wide, he cuts in the corner, creates some space, finds Toffoli, bang, shot on net. Toffoli goes to net, Eklund's already there, and they're scrambling for a position, scrambling for that puck. It's alive. Misa, instead of diving in there right away and coming in with 100 miles an hour, he waits. He comes out high after he makes the pass and just slows down and waits, and then the puck comes out to him. Boom, he scores. That's smart. That's Joe Thornton smart. I don't have to get in there. Let those guys, I'm finding the open ice just in case it might come out to me here. And if it didn't come out to him and they started breaking out, he'd still be that third man high and be able to slide over and help defend, maybe keep the forecheck alive. So it shows you how much of a thinker he is in the game when he's making the decision like that. So I see that in his game, and he's only going to get better. He's going to get bigger. He's going to get stronger. He's going to get faster.
That's great.
Yeah.
How is Jumbo doing, by the way?
He's good. I don't think he'll get mad at me, but yeah, the other day, game day, we have to go upstairs to talk to the coach, and we come out of the theater, and one of our PR guys, Kyle's our PR guys are the best. Kyle opens the door to the weight room, and I just happened to glance in and sitting watching just after a workout is Jumbo and no shirt. It's like Kyle looked at me, I looked at him and went, yeah, that's it. That's Jumbo. He's doing great. He's at the rink all the time. He's around the guys all the time. He's a hockey guy, man. He's just a hockey guy. He's doing well. He looks great.
He's one of my favorites.
Yeah, without a doubt.
I'm gonna get him on there. I'll track him down one of these days.
He's one of the show. He's one of the, the great thing about Joe Thornton, and I know I told you this a long time ago, but when Joe Thornton got to the Sharks, and this has always been the case with Joe Thornton, if you were on the team, you were on the team. You were part of the team. You were in. There was a few years ago when things weren't going very well for the San Jose Sharks. Evgeny Nabokov and I are talking. We're in Edmonton, as a matter of fact, and we're just standing out in the parking lot talking, and we see a couple guys go for dinner and a couple other guys go for dinner and 2 or 3 other here, and one goes by himself and everything else. And Nabby turns to me and looks and goes, "What?" I said, "What?" And he went, "Wouldn't have happened with Jumbo." I said, "What?" He goes, "If you were going, we were going." He said, "Jumbo was going. It was like, let's go, boys. Everybody, we're going." And you were going, period. End of discussion. That's the kind of guy Joe is and was, is that you were part of it. He gets inducted into the Hall of Fame, and he makes sure to invite us. He makes sure to invite people who worked in the office, the equipment managers, the trainers. The Sharks paid for it. They were fantastic. They say, yeah, we're going to bring those people because Joe wanted that. That's Joe Thornton. And all his buddies, when at the Hall of Fame thing, all his buddies from St. Catharines came. And
wow.
And just from his hometown, St. Thomas, sorry. And they were every time they jumped, somebody would walk by, go, "Hey, you're the Sharks guy." And I go, "You're gotta be one of Jumbo's pals," because they just happened time and time again. But Jumbo was the type of guy that you were part of it, and made sure to thank Rosemary Tibaldi, who was in the office and does everything, and Ryan Stan, who does all the travel, and Mikey Aldrich, who's our equipment manager, been there for everybody who was part of it behind the scenes. Joe invited.
Well, there's a reason you guys were as good as you were for such an extended period of time, and it wasn't just talent.
Yeah, exactly.
It was because of that.
Yeah.
All right, a couple more things before I let you go. Trade deadline. Any trades jump out at you like, whoa, that's gonna be that'll be interesting?
I wasn't happy when Mackenzie Weegar went from Calgary to Utah because we're chasing Utah.
Yeah.
And Mackenzie Weegar is a very good defenseman, was in Florida. And then when they made the trade with Tkachuk and they got Mackenzie Weegar, who's a good, solid D-man, very good. He'll really help the Utah Mammoth. And I didn't like to see that. The other ones, not really. I was a little surprised when the St. Louis Blues, who the Sharks play tomorrow night, are having a disastrous season, offered up Colton Parayko to the Buffalo Sabres.
Yeah, Buffalo, that's right.
But Colton has the no trade, and this morning he said, "Nah, I'm not going." Don't blame him. He's got that right. Although I would like to sit those GMs in a corner one day and say, "Okay, explain the no trades to me. Why you guys would give those out? Why you didn't collude with each other and go, we're not offering no trades." But
Drew asking GMs to collude. Fantastic.
No, I'm saying, why wouldn't you collude on that? But it makes it tough for a general manager to try to reshape his team. Does. The other ones, no, it's not really been anybody that I've been I've been wowed by yet. Since you and I started talking, I haven't checked. The
Why
interesting thing.
the Avalanche give up a first round pick for Waugh?
Great question. They want another centerman. Great question. I don't know, but
that seemed like a heavy price.
Where's their first round pick going to be?
Very tail end.
Right. Very, very tail end. And they're so good. So they're going for it. I would, Chris McFarland, the GM there, he traded Rantanen last year. And I thought, what are you doing? Are you that dense that you're trading that guy? And then Marty Necas has come in and they blew the roof on him. It didn't look very good last year when Rantanen beat them in the playoffs in Game 7.
Yeah, no, it did not.
At the same time, that's a damn good hockey team.
No doubt. Okay, let me ask you this one. I'm going to ask you to take your Sharks hat off.
Okay.
For a second.
I should wear a hat.
I want you to factor in. I want you to factor in age, salary, skill, all that, and try to think like a GM.
Okay.
That's not colluding. If after this season, every NHL player was put into a pool and we had a draft, where does Celebrini go?
Third.
McDavid?
Third. McDavid?
McKinnon?
Makar.
Okay.
Celebrini. Wow. I would, people would argue Leon. Might argue Kucherov. The reason I go Celebrini because of age and because your salary is pretty damn good.
Salary, yeah.
Yeah. And also his ability to drive. But I would go Makar, McDavid, Celebrini, or McDavid, Makar, Celebrini. And then after that, I would probably look at a goalie somewhere down the line. But to me, because of what I've seen from Macklin and what he did, what we talked about with the Olympics with McDavid, and how humble and driven and hard to play against, and his maturation as a player, and just the fact that this kid is such a good young man, is such a nice, strong young man, it is amazing. Tommy, he does so much stuff behind the scenes that he won't let anybody talk about or anybody post about or anything. He doesn't do it for clicks or anything like that. He's just a really good human being. And that's why I'd want him on my team, because I've got nothing but, at 19 years old, I look at him with admiration.
Yeah.
And,
you know who he reminds me of? And because I've been around him for so long, he reminds me of Steph. It's like from an organizational standpoint,
yeah,
you better consider yourself about as lucky as you can be to get a guy like that to be the face of your organization. Now, we all know, like, Steph's an all-timer, Hall of Famer and all that, and Macklin's got a long way to go. But it had occurred to me that, like, wow, they're very similar in their maturity at that age, their work ethic at that age, how driven they are at that age. Like, no one sees all the work that Steph puts in behind the scenes to be as good as he is. Yeah, he's the greatest shooter of all time, and he's always had that skill. But the ability to get shots off and the ability to handle, the ability to finish at the rim, they're just all these things that Steph has gotten a little bit better at throughout his years is due to the work ethic that he has. And then he's a dream to have as the face of your organization, because he's just a guy. He's just a guy that he grew up in basketball, with his dad, Dell. It just, so I thought about that, Drew. I was like, God, the Sharks got one.
Yeah.
That's like mature, driven, a guy that can be a leader, a guy that the other young guys in the team can emulate and follow. And not all of them will, but he's there to kind of be an example. I watched him. There was a 20-second clip. I don't know if you guys had it or maybe it was on Twitter. I'm not sure, of him against the Canadians. Yeah. And just the effort and the desire and the back checking and the nonstop.
I know what shift you're talking about. Yeah.
It didn't score, but he's just like, He's just here. He's there.
Yeah.
He's I'm not going to float. I'm going to, okay, there's the puck. Let me go here. Let me go there. Let me see if I can get it. Let me tip this. Oh, I can get a shot off. Okay, I get a shot. Oh, it went over. Let's go back. Oh, like, it's just when your best player does that, you can't help but do it because it's like, well, wait a minute. He's doing it. What are you doing
I
out
have
there?
to. I absolutely have to. Exactly. That's what he is, and that's what he's like. Yep. 100%.
Drew, it's so much fun to have you back. It's great to be back. And this is what it's all about for me. I get to talk with Brent, I get to talk with Steve, I get to talk with you, and get to talk a little hockey, a little basketball, a little football.
Awesome.
So I appreciate you coming on. I know you're busy. I know you got CUDA games and you got Sharks games, but I always appreciate you coming on and talking hockey with me.
Well, I love you, brother. You know that you and I are good friends, and I cherish our relationship. But again, I am sorry for the delay. But do me a favor, will you tell Steve thanks for cheering for Canada? We needed the help. And what's he doing basketball wise if he wants to move north?
If he keeps, I asked him. I go, when you were coaching the USA team, were you rooting for Canada then too? I go, what's going on? I go, hey, they lost. You keep rooting for them, pal. I go, you keep doing.
I'm getting him a Hockey Canada. I'm going to get him a Hockey Canada T-shirt and send it to him.
You should, absolutely. I'm going to. And I guarantee he can wear that with his Dodger hat. Fantastic. Oh my goodness gracious. All right, my friend. When's the next game?
Tomorrow night against the St. Louis Blues, and Saturday against another great young rookie and Matthew Schaefer. Would have been nice to get him too. I would have been really greedy there.
All right, before we go, real quick, I haven't seen him play. Everyone raves about this guy.
Unreal.
Give us a little thumbnail sketch on this guy, because what you just said, unreal, it's kind of the vibe I get when I hear other people talk about him. Like, this guy is just like, wow.
He's got 20 goals already as a rookie, as a defenseman. He's doing things that haven't been done since Bobby Orr. And I'm not saying he's Bobby Orr, but my goodness me.
Yeah.
This is a guy too who in his last season, his mom died of cancer. His billet mom passed away as well. He broke his collarbone at the World Junior and still was able to be the #1 pick. And he's one of the most matured, nice, likable young men you're ever going to find as well. Next Olympics, he will definitely be, along with Makar, the top defenseman in that thing. He just does everything right. And a great young kid too. Got to meet him in Toronto. So he's a good one. That's another reason. Besides, you're going to see some great young talent in the game against the Islanders and the Sharks, like you did against Montreal. So it's going to be fun to watch.
Fun game, no doubt about it. Drew, thank you so much. Have a good rest of the day, and we'll do it again soon.
You bet. Love you.
Thanks, Drew. Love you too, pal.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, that was because I couldn't get a hold of Drew forever. I'm like, what the hell? Did I do something? I go, what did I do? I mean, you got to go a long ways to offend Drew, and lost his phone. So I was like, I hate to say I'm happy you lost your phone, but I'm happy you lost your phone. All right, if you want to do a couple comments, we can do that. And look, you know me, I love talking hockey, and we'll talk. Probably get a hold of Drew every week, 2 weeks, and maybe more as the season starts winding down. And whether the Sharks are in the playoffs or not, I'm sure we'll have Drew on to talk about the playoffs. We did it a number of years ago. Drew would come on every day, and we just talk hockey for like 20 minutes, half an hour. There may be, depending on how the Warriors go, there may be plenty of time to talk Stanley Cup hockey. I may have a whole bunch of time to watch more Stanley Cup hockey than I generally do. Usually I don't. Usually the Warriors in the playoffs for a while. So, it's interesting. I don't know that he feels that pressure. He's just playing. Man, when you're 19, you don't feel that. You're just balling. You're just out there playing, having fun. And the expectations on the Sharks right now, super low. Super low. So this is all like found money this year. And not from their standpoint, of course, not from the organization standpoint, but what the expectations, external expectations were of the Sharks, this wasn't it. So the pressure will start ramping up in a couple years. You know, when these guys as a group have a couple years under their belt, but it's exciting. It's exciting to think what they're going to be not only next year, but the year after. They're going to be pretty good. If Askarof's the guy they hope he is, and they traded, I believe they traded with Nashville for him. But if he's the number one goaltender that they're hoping he will be, this team's going to be pretty solid. Again, you start thinking of a power play with Celebrini, Misa, Smith, maybe Eklund, Dickinson. Like that's a pretty sharp power play one. That ain't bad. That's some skill right there. Steph at 19 was skinny no name at I don't know if Steph was a no name at Davidson. When you beat Kansas as somebody who's a Davidson Wildcat, I'm pretty sure we knew who Steph was at 19. But now your point is well taken that Macklin Celebrini is 19 and he's at the top. Like he's one of the best players in the game right now. Drew said he'd take him third overall. And again, take that for what it's worth. Drew calls games for the Sharks, but I bet you he ain't far off. I bet you if you asked other GMs or other broadcasters, Celebrini be really high. Again, based on skill, based on age, based on what you're making, salary, all that. But yeah. I mean, I don't know. We'll see if he's in a like Crosby. That's pretty high praise because Crosby's an all-timer. But man alive. You get the number one pick, you're getting a pretty good player. You don't know if you're getting like a generational guy or not. Macklin Celebrini may be a generational guy, like an all-time guy. And it's ridiculous me saying that this early in his career. But you're watching him and seeing him do things that 19-year-olds just don't do. And again, I'll take my lead from John Cooper, the head coach of the Lightning, when he puts him out there with McDavid and McKinnon. It's like, yeah, go out there, kid. You've earned it. Go get it. And so it is nice to see good Sharks hockey again. Yes, it is. Absolutely. It's been a little while. And hopefully, if they're lucky, they can have a run that's somewhat close to what the last run was. That would include a Stanley Cup championship. That's it. That's the one thing that I always hoped that group would get one, right? Thornton, Marlowe, Couture, Pavelski. I mean, there's just so many guys on that team that played such good hockey for such an extended period of time, but could never get over the hump. Lost to Pittsburgh, I believe it was at 15. Maybe this is a group that'll get it done. I know. No, Celebrini was great during the Olympics, no doubt about it. He was fantastic. So, anyway, we'll probably be back with you tomorrow. If we do a show tomorrow, probably like a half an hour. We'll just do like a quick recap of the week. We're getting into conference tourney time. Maybe do a little NBA, see what's going on. I'll get you caught up on what's going on in the NBA. It's really not much to talk about with the Warriors until they can get healthy. I mean, I had two people stop me on my walk today. What are the Warriors going to do? I don't know. Get Steph back, get Porzingis playing, and Jimmy's gone till next year. So, and then you can do. I mean, they play hard. They play like the right way most of the time, but they don't have enough talent. You can't do nothing you can do. This team's going to scuffle, but they are going to be in that 10-7 range. So we'll see how it. Yeah, I know. I don't know how much Nathan McKinnon thinks about it now. He probably thought about it for about a week afterwards, and Ondas is talking about that goal. I mean, McKinnon had a wide open net, at least wide open half a net, and just missed it. McKinnon didn't miss those. He just doesn't. Yeah, I mean, look, Canada carried the action for about a period and a half. They and McKinnon talked about it. Like, who do you think was the better team? Now, I think they kind of did him dirty because that wasn't the whole quote. It wasn't just like it made it seem like, oh, we deserve to win. We're the better team. And this rinky-dink 3-on-3 hockey, that's the only reason they won. That's not what he said. But yeah, anybody that watched that, if you thought if you thought the American team was better the last period and a half, you're nuts. They weren't. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because Hellebuck was that guy was insane. He was the best player. He was American. He was the American's best player. I mean, the Hughes brothers played really well, and they had some, they had some guys that played, but Hellebuck was the guy. He was the guy, and I mean, the save he had on Taves that hit his stick might have been a little lucky. I mean, might have been a little lucky, but he had some incredible. So it was just fun. It was fun, and then the women, the same thing too. The women was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. Both of them 2-1 in OT. So it's definitely the highlight. Definitely the highlight of the Olympics. So, and it's just, basketball is getting to that point where it's close. Like, it's not quite hockey, but it's pretty. It's the other countries are catching up a little bit now, and you're thinking, oh man, if we're not on top of our game, we could lose. Could have lost last time if Steph didn't go nuclear toward the end of the game. And so, anywho, all right, I'm gonna get out of here. We do have tourney coming up. I'm gonna see if Jay Billis will come on, get you guys caught up on what's going on with the NCAA tournament. And then maybe next week we'll have somebody come on and talk a little WBC, which starts, I think it started yesterday. How about this? This is like one of the dumbest things ever. I just happened to be looking at lines for the WBC. No, I'm serious. I know you're thinking, yeah, Tom, you just happened to be looking. I wasn't betting. Like who'd Korea play? Czechoslovakia or somebody? I can't even know who they played. How about this though? They were favored by 7.5. 7.5. I was like, wow, never really seen that before. Like the run line, like a gigantic run line. They were favored by 7.5. You know how much they won by? 7. I mean, how do you even get close to that? Like that's line makers aren't as good as everybody always says. They're like, oh, line makers are witches. They have plenty of games where they'll set the line at 7. It'll be like they'll win by 14 or 2. It won't even be within one possession of the line. But that one, 7.5 WBC, and you're within a half. That'd have been sweet to have. I think it was Czechoslovakia. That'd have been sweet to have them though. Win by the hook? How great would that have been to start off your tourney? I hooked them. I hooked the book. Oh my goodness. All right. Possibly tomorrow. We'll let you know. If so, it'll be a short show. Be a weekly recap. There's some funny stories that maybe we'll drop in there. WBC better than betting Little League. I wouldn't know. I haven't bet either one of them. Betting Little League, like I'm not necessarily opposed. If you want to bet Little League, I just haven't. Just seems a little dirty to me. But look, if you bet Little League in California or Vegas, it's not like you're affecting the game whatsoever. It's not a huge deal. Mexico plus 1,900. Yeah, I mean, look. I don't know if I didn't put anything down. I don't have anything on the WBC because I probably would have taken US and the line wouldn't have been very good. I'm guessing the top 3 are Japan, Dominican, and us. I mean, the Dominican Republic lineup is insane. And you're just like, oh my gosh, look at that lineup. I don't know what their pitching looks like. I haven't looked at the rosters yet, but it's the same cast of characters, same teams. I know Logan Webb starts for Team USA tomorrow night. They play Brazil, So that'll be their first game. And then I think after that, is it Scooble against England, and then Skeens, and then the kid from the Mets. I can't remember his name. But no, I'll totally be into it. All right, everybody have a great day. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. And again, we'll let you know what's going on tomorrow. But I appreciate you guys doing the show. And thank you, Drew. I appreciate it. And thank you very much, Fieldwork, for sponsoring the show, the official non-alcoholic craft beer of your San Jose Sharks. See you.
And remember this, Tommy T, cash and tickets is what it's all about.